Surah AL Nahl. Surah number 16. In the name of God, the most gracious, the ever-merciful. The directive of God has been pronounced, so do not seek to hasten it. He is pure and exalted from the things they associate with him. Tell them, O prophet, that not everyone is worthy that God send down angels to him. He sends down angels with his command of revelation to whomsoever. He wills among his servants with the directive. Warn people, there is no deity for you except me. So, fear me alone. He has created the heavens and the earth with truth. No one can influence his decisions. He is far above those things which they associate with him. He has created a human being with a small drop, so you see that he has suddenly arisen to become an open enemy. He has also created these cattle for you, in which there is the winter's attire for you and other benefits too, and you also obtain nutrition from them. In them, there is also splendor for you, when in the evening you bring them back, and in the morning when you leave them to graze. They transport your burdens to cities where you could have only reached with great difficulty. In reality, your Lord is very affectionate, very merciful. He has created these horses, mules, and donkeys, also so that you ride them, and they are also an adornment. He also creates things which you do not know. If you want to come close to him, then know that the straight path reaches God, whereas there are deviant paths as well. And had he wanted, he would have guided all of you to that one path. It is he who has sent down water from the skies which you drink, and also through which that pasturage sprouts in which you graze animals. From it, he grows for you crops, olives, dates, grapes, and fruits of all types. Surely, in it, there is a great sign for those who reflect. It is he who has put the night, the day, the sun, and the moon into your service, and it is at his behest that the stars also serve you. Surely, in it are many signs for those who use their intellect. And these things of various types that he has scattered for you in the earth also undoubtedly have a great sign for those who can be reminded. It is he who has put the sea into your service, so that you can eat the fresh meat of fish from it and extract from it items of jewelry that you wear. And you see the ships sailing through this sea, while cutting across its surface, so that you can travel in them, and so that you seek the bounty of your Lord, and so that you can be grateful to him. He has set forth the mountains on the earth, lest it may tilt away with you, and has made canals to flow in it, and made paths, so that you can find the way, and besides these has also appointed other signs, and people also find their way through the stars of the heavens. Then will he who creates become equal to those who do not. So do you not understand? If you try to count the favors of God, you will not be able to. Even then you are ungrateful. In reality, God is most forgiving, ever merciful. If he has granted you respite, then this is the sole reason for it as well. But remember that God knows what you conceal and what you reveal. Those whom they call besides God do not create. In fact, they themselves have been created. They are dead, not alive, and do not know when they will be raised to life. Your God is one God, but those who do not believe in the hereafter, their hearts deny, and they are inflicted with arrogance. God definitely knows what they conceal and what they reveal. He never likes those who show vanity in this manner. When they are asked, "What has your Lord revealed?" they say, "Tales of the ancients." This is because on the day of judgment they fully bear their own burdens, and also of those who they were leading astray without any knowledge. Remember, very evil is the burden which these people will bear. People before them had also plotted schemes in this manner. Then God pulled out their building from its foundation. So its roof collapsed on their heads, and his torment visited them from where they could not even imagine. Then not only this, God shall humiliate them even more on the day of judgment, and ask them, "Where are my associates for which you would fight?" Those endowed with knowledge will call out at that time. Today humiliation and misfortune will afflict these disbelievers, on those whose souls will be claimed by the angels such that they would be doing injustice to their own selves. So they will immediately concede, "We were not doing anything evil." The angels will reply, "Why not? Indeed, God knows full well what you have been doing. Now enter the gates of hell such that you shall remain in it forever. So what an evil abode it is for those who are arrogant." On the other hand, those who fear God, when they are asked, "What is this thing that your Lord has sent down?" they reply, "He has revealed the best thing." In reality, those who adopted good, for them there is good in this world, also and the abode of the hereafter is much better than this, and how marvelous is the abode of those who fear God. Eternal orchards which they shall enter, canals shall be flowing below them. There they shall have everything they would want. God rewards those who fear in this way, those whose souls are claimed by the angels such that they are pure. The angels will say, "Peace be to you. Go and live in paradise as a reward for your deeds." Do they but await that angels come to them, or the directive of your Lord is given? Those who were before them also behaved similarly. Then what happened was that God was not unjust to them. In fact, they were being unjust to themselves. So they were punished for their misdeeds, and were embraced by precisely what they were making fun of. These idolaters say, "Had God willed, we would not have worshipped anyone except him, neither we nor our forefathers, and nor would we have regarded anything as prohibited without his directive." Those before them had also adopted this attitude. So, the only responsibility of the messengers is to clearly communicate. Thus you can see that we had sent a messenger in every community with the message, "Worship God, and be on guard against Satan." Then, God guided some of them, and there were also some among them who deviated from the truth. So walk about in the land, and see the fate the rejectors have encountered. If you are very desirous for their guidance, what will you gain from this, O prophet? Because God does not guide those whom he leads astray according to his law, and also no one can be their helper. While swearing strong oaths by God, they say, "God shall not raise to life he who dies." Why not? This is a promise made by him that he shall necessarily fulfill, but most people do not know. This will happen so that God reveals to them the reality about which they are differing, and the disbelievers know that they were liars. This is not the slightest difficult for us. When we decide about something, all we need to say is that we say to it, "Be," and it happens. Why will we not raise them to life? In fact, those who have migrated in the way of God, after they have been oppressed, we shall definitely bestow on them a nice abode in this world, also, and the reward of the hereafter is much more. Alas, would that these disbelievers knew. We shall bestow on those very immigrants who remain steadfast, and who trust their Lord. They insist that angels be sent down to them. In reality, before you too, we had sent men as messengers to whom we would send revelations. So, if you people do not know, ask these who before this are the recipients of the reminder. We had sent them with proofs and with books. And now we have revealed this reminder to you, so that you may mention to these people what has been revealed to them, and so that they may reflect. Then have these people, who are plotting evil schemes, become unafraid that God may thrust them into the earth, or they be visited by a torment, from where they cannot even imagine or catch them while they walk about. If he decides to do this, they cannot defeat him, or he may seize them in a situation that they themselves too fear it. He is giving respite to them, because your Lord is very gentle, ever merciful. Do they not see that whatever God has created, their shadows prostrate before God, turning from the right and from the left, and the objects which have these shadows are meek and submissive? In reality, all living beings in the heavens and the earth, each of them prostrate to God only, and the angels of God too. They are never disobedient. They fear their Lord above them, and do whatever they are directed to. God has said, "Do not make two gods. He is the one God only. So fear me alone. Whatever is in the heavens and the earth belongs to him, and only he is to be always obeyed. Then do you fear others besides God? Whatever favor you have is from God alone. Then when you are afflicted by a calamity, you beseech him only. Then when God secures you from that calamity, Right at that time some of you start associating partners with him, so that they become ungrateful to the favors we have given them. So be merry for a few days. Then soon you will come to know. And those about whom they have no knowledge, they put their share too in what we have given them. By God, you shall definitely be held accountable for the falsehood that you are fabricating. They ascribe daughters to God. Exalted is God. For him, daughters, and for them what they desire. When glad tidings of a daughter are given to any of them, his face darkens, his heart wrenches because of the shame of the glad tidings given to him. He hides from people thinking whether he should keep her in shame or bury her in the ground. Alas, what an evil decision do they make! In reality, those who do not believe in the hereafter are in fact worthy of an evil example. For God are the best examples. He is powerful, very wise. Had God seized people immediately for their oppression, he would never have left any living being on earth. But his law is that he gives them respite until an appointed time. Then when their appointed time arrives, they will not be able to hold back for an instant or move ahead. They are suggesting for God what they do not like for themselves, and their tongues lie that for them is goodness in future as well. For them certainly is hell, and they will be left in it. By God, O prophet, we had sent messengers to many nations before you also. So Satan made their deeds seem fair to them in a similar way. Thus, now he is their companion, and for them is a painful torment. If they do not believe, then you are not responsible for this in any way. The only reason we have revealed this book to you is that through it you can fully explain to them what they are differing in, and so that it can be a guide and mercy for those who believe in it. In reality, it is God who has rained down water from the sky. Then, through it, revived the earth after it had died. Surely there is a great sign in this for people who listen. And surely there is a great lesson for you and the cattle too. We make you drink pure milk from between their faces and blood within their bellies, which is very delicious for those who drink. Similarly, from the fruits of dates and grapes also, you make things of intoxication from them, and things wholesome to eat as well. Surely there is a great sign in this for those who use their intellect. Do you not see that? Your Lord sent his revelation to the honeybee. Make your hives in mountains, trees, and high fences that people build. Then suck juice from fruits of all types, and follow the paths evened out by your Lord. From her belly comes out a fluid of different colors. There is cure in it for people. Surely there is a great sign in this as well for those who reflect. In a similar way, God has created you. Then it is he who makes you die. Some of you die early, and some of you are made to reach feeble age, so that after knowing a lot they know nothing. In reality, it is God only who knows. It is he alone who has power over everything. Then observe also that God has given preference to some of you over others in livelihood. Then those who are given preference do not give their livelihood to their slaves, so that they become equal in it. Yet, they think that God has divided his kingdom among others, and they obtain livelihood from them only. So are they denying the favor of God. Then also see that God has created wives for you from your own species, and from your wives has produced sons and grandsons, and given you pure things to eat. Then even after seeing and knowing all this, they believe in evil and have become rejectors of God's favors, and worship those besides God, who have no authority for them, in the heavens for their livelihood, nor in the earth, nor can have access to any such authority. So by analogy to your own selves, do not cite examples for God. In reality, God knows his being and attributes. You do not. If you want to hear out examples, then listen. God cites the example of a slave who is under the ownership of someone. He does not have authority over anything. In contrast to him, there is another person whom we have granted a decent livelihood from ourselves. Then he spends from it openly or secretly, in any way he wants to. Speak up. Will the two be equal? Then how do you equate God with his powerless people? Truly God is worthy of gratitude, but most people do not know. To explain this fact further, God cites another example. There are two people. One of them is dumb. He cannot do any work and is a burden on his master. Wherever he sends him, he does not do anything right. Will this dumb person, and that person invested with authority, be equal who teaches justice and adheres to the straight path himself as well? They insist that if the day of judgment is to come, then its time of arrival should be disclosed to them. In reality, all the unseen of the heavens and the earth is in God's control, and the matter of the day of judgment is but like the blinking of the eye, or even earlier than that. This is not the slightest difficult for him, because God has power over all things. And observe that it is the Almighty who took you out from the wombs of your mothers. At that time, you knew nothing. He gave you ears, eyes and hearts that ponder, so that you are grateful. Have they not seen the birds which are subjected to a decree in the sky? Only God is holding them. Surely there are many signs in this for those who want to accept faith. Like these birds soaring in the sky, the peace and comfort of your houses is also created for you by God. It is He who has made houses for you from the hides of the cattle, which you find very light at the time of your departure and stay. And from their wool, fur, and hair, He has made household items for you, and many things of use from which you benefit until an appointed time. And it is God who has made for you the shadows of the things that He has created and places of refuge for you in the mountains, and made such garments for you which safeguard you from the heat of your country, and also made such apparels for you that protect you in your mutual wars. In this way does God complete His favors on you so that you remain obedient to Him. In spite of this, if these people turn away, then, O prophet, your only responsibility is to clearly communicate. They will bear its consequence themselves because they are the people who recognize the favors of God, then become oblivious to them. In reality, most of them are ungrateful. They should remember the day when we shall raise forth a witness from each nation. Then those who would have denied will neither be given a chance to present an excuse, nor would they be requested to try to please God. And when those who are guilty of this oppression see the torment once, it will not be eased from them, nor will they be granted reprieve. And when on that day these guilty of polytheism will see the partners they had associated with God, then while blaming them for their wrongdoing they will say, Our Lord, are these our associates whom we called upon leaving you aside? At this, their deities will throw back their statement on them. You are absolute liars. On that day, they will concede defeat before God, and the falsehood they were fabricating. All of it will vanish. Then not only this, those who themselves denied and continued to stop others too from the path of God, we shall increase torment after torment for them, because of this disorder they have been working. They should remember the day when we shall raise a witness from within each ummah against them. And you, O prophet, we shall raise as a witness against these people, of your own nation. Before this, we revealed this book to you to fully explain everything as a guide and mercy, and as glad tidings for the obedient. Indeed, God directs you in it to justice, virtue, and to give to the kin, and stops you from lewdness, evil, and rebelliousness. He counsels you so that you receive a reminder. You too, O people of the book, fulfill your promise with God, when you have solemnized it, and do not break your oaths after strongly swearing them when you have made God their witness. Indeed, God knows what you do. Do not be like that woman who strongly spun her thread, and then herself tore it up into shreds. You make your oaths a means of deception for fear that one nation may move ahead from another. God through this decision of His is only testing you. On the day of judgment, He shall definitely make evident to you what you are differing in. Had God wanted, He would have made you into one ummah, but He has given you the freedom to choose. So now He leads astray whomsoever He wants because of misusing this freedom, and guides whomsoever He wants according to His law. And He has conclusively communicated the truth to you. So you will also certainly be asked for whatever you are doing. Do not make your oaths a means of mutual deception, lest a firmly grounded step is undone, and you are made to taste the flavor of a torment for this crime that you stopped people from the path of God, and in the hereafter you face a great punishment. Do not sell God's covenant for a paltry price. Servants of God, If you know, then whatever is with God is only better for you. Remember that whatever you have shall finish one day, and whatever is with God shall remain. This is a reward for deeds, and we shall definitely reward well for their deeds those who have remained steadfast for our cause. Whoever does a good deed, whether a man or a woman, if that person adheres to faith, we shall make that person lead a life of purity, both in this world and in the hereafter, and shall definitely reward such people in the best way for their deeds. So, in order to warn them, when you read out the Quran before them, first seek the refuge of God from Satan the accursed. He will definitely whisper evil suggestions to you. But remember, he has no power on those who have professed faith and who trust their Lord alone. He has power only on those who have friendship with him and associate partners with their Lord. You observe that when we reveal one verse in place of another, and God knows full well what he reveals, they say that this is an evidence to the fact that you have fabricated it yourself. No, in fact, the reality is that most of them do not know the wisdom behind it. Tell them, the Holy Spirit has revealed this from your Lord with the truth, so that it may keep the believers steadfast, and be a guide and a glad tiding for those who are obedient to God. We very well know that they say about you, a person teaches him. The language of the person they ascribe him to is non-Arabic, and this language is eloquent Arabic. In reality, God never gives the urge to reach the truth to those who do not believe in God's revelations, and a painful doom awaits them as well. Our prophet has not fabricated a lie. In fact, it is those people who are fabricating lies who do not believe in God's revelations, and it is they who are in fact liars. Believers, those among you who disbelieve after believing, if they are compelled and their hearts are content on belief, then there is no penalty for this. But those who open their chests to disbelief, the wrath of God is on them, and they shall be sternly punished. This is because they gave preference to this world over the hereafter, and because God does not guide such disbelievers. It is these people on whose hearts, ears, and eyes God has set a seal, and it is they who are negligent of the hereafter. Surely they shall be the losers in the hereafter. Then this too is a fact, that those who migrated after they had been put into trials, then struggled for the cause of God, and showed steadfastness, your Lord undoubtedly is most forgiving and ever merciful after all this they have done. On the day when each person will come speaking in his defense, and each person will get exactly what he had done, and no injustice shall people suffer. People of the Quraysh, God cites for you the example of that settlement, which was passing its days with peace and contentment. Its sustenance was reaching it with abundance from all sides. After that, it showed ingratitude to God's favors. Then, God made it taste the flavor of hunger because of its misdeeds, and made it wear the apparel of fear. A messenger had come to them from among themselves, so they rejected him. Then a torment seized them, and they were the ones who were unjust to their own selves. So seek a lesson from this fate of theirs, and eat the permissible and pure things that God has given you, and be thankful to God's favors, if you in fact only worship him. He has only prohibited to you carrion, blood, pork, and meat of animals slaughtered such that the name of someone other than him is invoked on them. Yet, he who is driven by necessity, intending neither to be desirous nor to transgress, then there is no sin on him, because God is forgiving and ever merciful. On the basis of the lie that your tongues fabricate, do not say, "This is allowed and this is prohibited," so that in such a way you impute falsehood to God. Remember, those who impute falsehood to God shall never succeed. This is a lavishness of a few days, and after this a painful doom awaits them. And those who are Jews, we had also prohibited the same things to them, which we have informed you of earlier. As for all others besides these, we have not been unjust to them. Rather, they have continued to be unjust to their own selves. Then for those who commit a sin while being overcome by emotions, then afterwards repent and correct themselves. Then after this, O Prophet, your Lord undoubtedly is very gracious and ever merciful. They should not attribute their superstitions to Abraham. In reality, Abraham was an ummah in his own self, obedient to God and devoted, and he was not from among the polytheists. He was grateful to his favors. God chose him and had guided him towards a straight path. We granted him goodness in this world, also, and in the hereafter as well he shall certainly be from among the righteous. Then it is precisely because of this that we sent this revelation to you. Follow this way of Abraham, how was fully devoted and was not among the polytheists. The harshness of the Sabbath also has no connection with Abraham. This Sabbath was imposed only on those who because of their hair-splitting had created differences in it. Your Lord shall certainly decide between them on the day of judgment, in all what they have been differing. O prophet, continue to call to the path of your Lord with wisdom, and with sound advice, and reason with them in a courteous manner. Surely your Lord knows full well who has drifted from the path of his Lord, and also knows very well those also who are guided. If you people seek revenge at some instance, only seek it commensurate with what you have been inflicted with. Yet if you show patience, then this is a lot better for those who show patience. O prophet, show patience, and you can acquire this patience only through a relationship with God, and do not grieve on them, and do not fret over the schemes they are plotting. Indeed, God is with those who adhere to piety, and those who are thorough in their deeds.